Hello, Kaizen, and welcome back to our stream. Today we have a mixed tier 2 match between Base Jam and Tekla. JJ, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Finny?
I'm so good. If I'm not mistaken, we're currently in the winners final. Just before the grand final, how would you feel?
Feeling pretty good about this match. I'm really excited. I've heard some rumors that it's going to be a pretty close matchup between the two teams here.
Yeah, and I think we've got some bans as well, JJ.
Yes, quite some interesting ones here. So we are going to see the Rambi ban, the Sojourn ban, Baptiste ban, and actually the Genji ban come out here. The Genji we are actually seeing being banned a lot since the recent update that happened maybe about a week ago with the perk changes. Genji just being really dominant with those new perk changes, just able to do so much damage onto the backline. Ramatra not quite as dominant since the update, getting that armor bug finally fixed of his. In the Sojourn and Bap were some pretty good bans, as Sojourn and Bap are going to be able to take the off angle here on this map, which having those bans is going to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and I imagine as well, obviously, they've played each other before, so they probably have an idea of what each player kind of plays, so there could be a bit of target banning coming into this. I mean, especially this late into the season, as I mentioned earlier, you know what you're playing and you know what they play, so you know what you don't want to go against, really. Basically just learning off your past mistakes.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to see the TPs come out here from both sides, and we are going to see Space Jam here actually pull out the Wu Yang, which was recently the newest added character here. He is able to do a lot of damage from the back line, just able to get so much with those exploding bubbles of his.
Yeah, and we are coming into this now. As you mentioned earlier, we have got a TP from both sides. As for the side of Space Jam and from the side of Tekla as well, they only using it just to get to the point just a little bit faster, and it looks like the side of Space Jam do get to the point first, holding it down just a little bit here. Both on this Orisa, which is going to be a very good brawl tank here, considering how close the map is. We do see Venture coming here, and Mango just here get a pick onto Barflower, instead of Jason getting a pick onto Ant, and Spaghetti getting a pick onto Diff, and Jason as well. It's looking like it's going to the side of Space Jam here.
We are going to see a lot of really good walls come out here from the Mei, just able to do so much damage. And the Juno actually almost getting picked off and staggered there. Space Jam able to make a lot of space here for them to be able to play this point.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think Space Jam played that really well, considering like they just got their picks and then engaged as soon as they had their pick as well, which is exactly what they needed to be doing.
And it looks like the Spencer is going to try to wrap around and get some damage on that off angle over there. Help to make some space for the side of Tekla, but almost gets picked out there. Unfortunately, the Mei does fall to the Cassidy there.
And we do see Mango going in here. Like, he does get a pick here onto Star. A very good pick here. With then Jason then getting a pick onto Mango. They have no tankers, so Tekla really need to engage here. However, they don't really have the pick. But just saying that, Jason does get a pick onto Evolution here. However, Light Spaghetti does finish off Jason, with then Diff getting a pick onto Ant, and Suguru just clearing up there.
And it looks like Space Jam is going to be able to keep holding this point here, as Tekla is going to have to back out. Space Jam almost all back to the point again. They are approaching already 60%, and both teams pretty even on the ult economy here.
Yeah, I'm probably expecting to see a Sojo come out quite early. However, Darb is coming up to this Orisa. We do see Sojo come out, and he does get a pick here onto Jason nice and early. We're then getting a pick onto Bar. This is a huge shoulder ult to the side of Space Jam. They're really showing a lot of dominance here, with the Mango getting a pick onto Star here.
Unfortunately, Venture just getting off last there. Looking pretty good for Space Jam, having full ults for this next fight coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Tekla really needs to do here is just find their standing here. They do have 4 or 5 ults here coming up. They just need to get them out here. However, the side of Space Jam do also have 4 ults, which we do see this ult come out nice and early with a combination of this Orisa ult from Darb. A lot of ults are coming out here, as we do see as it's coming up to 99%. This is pretty much all or nothing here for this point. You just need to invest as many ults as you can. With then Darb getting the pick here onto Evolution, it really evens the playing field there, getting rid of this Lucio nice and early here. However, Spaghetti does shut that down by getting a pick here onto Star. Diff then getting a pick onto Spaghetti, and then getting a pick onto Diff. However, the risk from Space Jam is falling really low, with Barflower just get a pick here onto Mango. with them, I imagine this is probably going to Thelka here. However, you don't know with Subaru getting a pick here onto Bar. However, he does fall really, really low here. However, no one's able to pick him off though, with Evolution getting a pick onto Jason. I mean, it's 99% right now. Thelka are really trying here just to get the advantage here, with Diff then pulling out this Venture ult nice and early, trying to get a pick here. Unfortunately, I don't think find anyone right now, as they do fall really, really low. However, Darb also falling very low, with Anstein getting a pick here onto Darb. With the rest just kind of grouping up here onto this light, not this light, but this Venture there. I forget he does get a pick here onto them.
Evolution playing for so long. And it looks like point one is gonna go to Space Jam here. What a great last fight from both teams there.
Yeah, a lot of staggered fights. I mean, a lot of them just took forever and ever, which is exactly what you need here. As you know, it may be 99%. However, we've seen it before where teams have just jumped back. It was 99% on the other team's point, but they just bring it back and they win the point. However, that wasn't the case for Thelka there. But you know, it's only the first point of this map.
Like I said, that Wu Yang just so detrimental, being able to output so much damage into the enemy backline there, as he can control the orbs to wherever he wants and go around a lot of the front line with those.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
Yeah, and we are seeing a switch to Cassidy here for the side of Thelka, as I imagine he kind of just want to output a bit more damage here on this Cass, especially with the whole thing of his new perk as well, that Silver Strike one that can pretty much just do so much damage from a long period of time. However, speaking of this Cass, they do fall quite low. However, the Moira is there to help them. Do you see a boot here onto Darb by Evolution? That's a huge boot for them. With the Mango getting a pick here onto Diff, and the rest are just going to have to pull out here.
Unfortunately, Thelka just in a very odd position, and that May just putting up that wall to be able to disrupt the team. Space Jam is going to be able to cap this point first once again.
Yeah, as you said, just caught out in an unfortunate position there. I was Thelka here. I'm going to try and think now, like, how can we stop getting picked off early? I feel like they always get Space Jam always gets the first pick and engage really fast on that. Thelka just need to find their rhythm here, really.
Suguru and Unzero already quickly approaching all. It looks like Thelka's going to look to try and take a different strat here, trying to collapse in on Space Jam. But Mango, unfortunately for Space Jam, just able to get that early pick onto Star there.
Yeah, with Mango there just clearing up the rest of the team there. I think what happened there, JJ, they just got caught in that little room.
Yeah, it's such an awkward position for Thelka to be there, as they don't have anywhere they can really go once they drop down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, swapping over to D.Va, they're probably trying to speed up a little bit, especially with this Venture. You kind of want to run a bit more of a dive from, but we do see this Wu Yang ult come out quite early. It does stun here, the Venture. Yeah. With them, they do pull out this Moira ult as a retaliation to that Wu Yang ult. However, I don't think they're finding anyone here. The Soldier is kind of caught by themselves here, but they do look like they're going to get out. With Suguru then getting a pick here onto Star, and Mango then getting a pick onto Diff. We did see that Lucia will come out quite early. However, we are seeing the light here bring out the Soldier ult.
He's like, what happened? No, I'm sorry.
80% on the point. It's going to be hard for Thelka to win this. However, as I said earlier, we've seen this before. The D.Va does try and get this touch here, but we do see this Mayo get eaten by the D.Va. Such a huge eat from Darb. They do manage to get the touch here. However, Darb is very, very low. He is unfortunately unmet here by Suguru and killed as well. With Star trying to get that second touch, so unfortunately was picked off before getting to them. Moira does use Fade and unfortunately does not make it there in time. It is currently 1-0 to Space Jam. What do you think of that, JJ?
That was a really good map there from Space Jam. Very unfortunate to alter from the Soldier and the Mei though, but it's all good. It still worked out in their favor. Suguru just putting in so much effort as well on that Mei. Just really scary, to be honest. If I was faced with that Mei, I would be terrified and shaking in my boots.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, Thelka definitely gave a good effort. However, I just think Space Jam knew what they were doing on this map. They always knew when to engage, when to disengage, and how to keep going on the point. As we've seen in that first point, I mean, it was on overtime for what, easily 2 minutes there. So it's a very good fight from both teams.
And I think that'll be it for us for the next few minutes. So we will be back.
Hello, Kaizen, and welcome back. It is currently 1-0 to Space Jam right now. We're heading into King's Row. And JJ, what did you think of that last map?
Oh, that last map was very, very fun to watch. A very, very good map for Space Jam there. And we are going to see some different bands here. We're going to have the Orisa band come out. It looks like they do not want to deal with Mango on that Orisa anymore. They are going to be banning the Venture and the Cass, as we did see those both last round, predominantly played by Tekla. And we are also going to see Waterboy, aka Wu Yang Band here, as we did see Space Jam here play Wu Yang the whole map. And like I said, very, very good, just being able to deal a lot of damage onto the back line. And Wu Yang is particularly good on maps with pinches, which Kings Row does happen to be one of those maps, so it looks like they just don't want to be answering to that.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see Wu Yang come out this early, considering obviously he's quite a new character, so not a lot of teams have like played against a Wu Yang or played with one, so it's very interesting to see Space Jam come out on this Wu Yang and be quite confident as a team in that.
And it looks like we are gonna see a pretty interesting comp come out here from Space Jam. Very, very, very different from the last comp we've seen. We are gonna see the Ramatra from Mango here, Razzie on the Sojourn. We are gonna have the Pharmacy from Suguru and Haku here, and we are gonna see on Zero on the BAP, which we did see banned last round, and we are gonna see Tekla on the Maga 76 Tracer. Juno and Kiri, so it looks like they are going to be going for more of a divey brawl composition here on the attack.
Yeah, a bit of a dive brawl. I mean, with the Malga especially, if you time it perfectly right, you can get a lot of value off this rush type comp. But we do see they are looking to find this Pharah here. Unfortunately, not able to find them just yet, as Haku is kind of glued to this Pharah right now. Mango is kind of left by themselves, as the Tracer is going to try and capitalize on that with this Malga. And we do see them push him into the small room. However, he does use his form here to try and stay alive. With Blade King then getting a pick here onto Suguru on the Pharah. We've got to watch out for this rise. However, this Malga has jumped onto the Mercy, making it very low. With Fred does get the pick here onto Haiku. And it's looking like this is going to go to Tekla here.
And Tekla did do a very good job collapsing here on the Space Jam, and we are already going to see a lot of switches come out here from their team. We are going to see the Pharah switch onto the Freya here, and we are going to see the Mercy swap onto the Ana here to help deal with that Maga.
Yeah, you definitely need this Ana pick here into the Malga. However, we do have a Kiri for the side of Tekla. Which, if they use their cleanses right, it can definitely take away Ana's value here. However, we did see this anti come out onto Darb, falling very, very low, which they do manage to get a pick here onto Darb. It's exactly what they need. We did see this Tracer come out, unfortunately not finding anyone as for this immortality from Ant here.
And it looks like that Tracer is going to be able to get out here. This Freya going to be able to do a lot of damage onto that Maga. Maga's essentially just kind of a giant damage sponge, especially when it comes to having a Freya on that enemy team here.
Yeah, this Freya swap was definitely a better pick here. As you said, she is just a tank buster pretty much. And with Malga being got such a big hitbox, it's very easy to hit your aim-in shots in there. However, we did get a huge anti from that Ana. Unfortunately, not able to pick off this Malga just yet, as we do have this Kiri and this Juno looking at him. However, Mango does fall quite low, kind of forced to come around the corner. However, we do see this battle come out. Unfortunately, Darb does get the pick here onto Ant, but Radko then gets a pick onto Fred. The Suguru following up with that, getting a pick onto Darb. We did see Annihilation come out from Mango here, and he does get picked off here by Star. Unfortunately, I just don't think that's enough for them, as it is the Kiri by themselves.
Space Jam does manage to sustain both their DPS there, which is very good for them, and Space Jam also does have the more favorable ult economy here, it's looking like, as unfortunately that 76 ult did get wasted there by Tekla.
Yeah, but they still are coming up to this Malga ult here with the combination as well as of Juno and Kiri. Which I'm probably expecting to see one of them be paired with this Malga ult, probably, but we do see this Freya ult and the the Freya and Sojo come out here, getting a pick here onto Star. A very nice early pick there onto the Kiri, with Ant then getting a pick here onto Darb. Forcing Tekla just have to pull back here.
We are going to have the Nano on ready for Space Jam here. but we are going to have 4 ready for Thelka. We most likely are going to see this Nano come out the next fight, and that Pulse Bomb is really going to be looking to stick to Haku here, as they are the biggest priority target right now for that Tracer.
Yeah, it's just whether you wait for the immortality to come out here, as that can be, you have to completely shut it down. However, this does get a pick here onto Suguru with the early Kirio come out with the Malga, or Nano just come out here onto Mango. Unfortunately, yeah, this is not going to be enough just yet. However, though, he does get picked here onto Dar with Fred forced out here as he did fall quite low. Blaze King is looking to get this pick onto the Ram. Unfortunately, the Ram is kind of holding it down. We do see the form come out, and Blaze King does get the pick here onto Mango, and it's looking like Thelka going to get a bit more cart progress here, especially with Blaze King getting a pick here onto Suguru as well.
And it looks like Thelka is going to be managing to push this payload to the second point here. We are once again approaching ults for Space Jam here. They are going to need to hold this payload for 3.5 minutes though.
Yeah, but Mango just managed to get an early pick here onto Fred. However, Space Jam is trying to get their bearings back here at this point right now. With them being back now, they are looking to push in here with the early Frey roll here onto Darb. Darb falls very low. He just jumps in with the Stomp. Unfortunately, they get picked off by Suguru, causing Thelka just to push back again.
And it looks like Space Jam is going to be looking to push them back into their spawn. The Tracer being forced to get off the map to reset. And it looks like this Curie is just trying to play hide and seek a little bit here.
Time for R&R. Push that payload.
It's the best thing to do in that situation, isn't it? You're just going to hide and hope no one finds you. We are seeing the Freya get quite a lot of poke damage here. The best thing with Freya, you can farm ult very fast here. Blaze King falling very low to this Freya. Unfortunately, not able to finish it off. We do see the Juno and the Soto come out here. They do find 2 right here right now. We did get a Mortality come out. Unfortunately, not able to help them there as Blaze King just get a pick hit onto Razzle and Darb getting a pick there onto Mango. That's a very quick fight, don't you think, JJ?
Yes, a lot of ults being used from Thelka there. I was really hoping to see an early Baptiste window here, but it looks like they are going to be looking to fight close to spawn here.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, I'm probably looking to see this battle come out just in a minute. With Suguru then getting a pick here onto Blaze King. We do see this battle come out. Unfortunately, then Diff does get a pick there onto Razzle. As you see Mango pull out Annihilation here. However, we get a huge pick there from Diff. Getting a pick there onto And. Haku just falls quite low here, with Star just capitalized on that, getting a pick here onto Haku. With Suguru being back, but Fred just managed to get the pick here onto Mango here, with Razzle pulling out this Ocho, getting a pick here onto the Soja, falling very low to this Tracer, with a huge immortality from and getting that pick onto Tracer. I mean, Space Jam just pulled that out of nowhere there, especially with that Soja being by themselves.
Yeah, that Sojourn just able to end that fight all by themselves could have potentially just won them the game there, as Thelka does only have 1 minute and 20 seconds left to push this payload. It is looking a little scary for them, but they are approaching 2 ults here, which could secure them this first round.
Yeah, and we have seen Mango swap over to the D.Va. D.Va's a very good counter to Malga, especially with the defense matrix. Ante does get a pick onto Star, with Darb running in, getting a pick there onto Razzle. Haku, it does fall really low and does manage to get a pick there onto Haku. Mango then getting a pick onto Fred. We do see this Malga come out, forcing the D.Va out of mech and leaving it all by herself right now. They are going to get a pick as well onto this D.Va. I mean, I feel like they push it here with this Kirio coming out as well.
And Thelka is going to have 40 seconds remaining, and it is going to be a little difficult for Space Jam here, as it did look like Thelka did a really good job on dominating on this map.
Yeah, I think they're very comfortable with this Malga comp, as the Malga jumps in, Dift on that Tracer comes in and assists them. I've really enjoyed Dift on this Tracer this game, as I think last game they really struggled to play into Space Jam, but they're really showing what they can do right now.
Yeah, seemed very, very coordinated. That Tracer just wreaking havoc on the backline of Space Jam. They're just able to control the supports and really working to get that Baptiste Immortality field out early.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, not to mention though, I mean, from the side of Space Jam, I mean, Razzle on that Soj, I mean, especially that final fight, with that Soul as well. I mean, that was a really great performance to see. But we are seeing Suguru swap over to this Widow here. We've not seen Widow yet, JJ. Do you reckon this could work for them?
If they, I think they're gonna try to secure some early picks here, and if they can do that, I think it'll work out really well for them. But other than that, I don't think they're gonna be looking to stay on it for too long.
Yeah, especially we've not really seen a lot of hit scans come out from Suguru, and we've seen them on the Mei, we've seen them on the Pharah. Not seen them on the Widow yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play into that. They have swapped over to the Kiri as well, assuming they do want to play this hard brawl right now, especially with that Reaper swap as well. Both teams are looking to get this early pick here onto Blaze King, however they do manage to get out just in time before getting picked, but Diff on this Echo just managed to get a pick here onto Haku, a very good pick for them to start off with, right, JJ?
Yes, and it does look like this Maga is going to try to wrap around on Space Jam. This Reaper really looking to try and control him, and it does put Space Jam in a little bit of an awkward position as they are already down one teammate. They are separated from the rest of the team here.
Yeah, I think if I was Thelka there, I would have hard rushed into them as well, because you are playing the 5v4 there, as he didn't have the Juno at the start. But Blaze King just managed to get another pick here onto the Juno. However, Razzle gets a huge pick there onto Darb, with Diff getting a retaliation pick onto Suguru. I mean, Thelka doesn't have a tank, but they are up by one person right now. This is a very winnable fight for both teams, with them Blaze King getting a pick onto Mango. I mean, Razzle and this Juno kind of left, not Juno, this Kiri left by himself, however the Kiri does TP out there.
And both teams are going to be five again here, and it looks like both teams approaching on ults. We are going to be looking to see those come out in about 2 fights here. Space Jam are really looking to try and just play this slow and work off of picks, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen much of this Echo when I've casted any game, or in the games that I played as well. It's going to be interesting to see who they copy here. However, Darb, though, does fall quite low, forcing Tater to take a little bit of a step back. However, we do see this Kiri come out from Ant nice and early. They do get this early pick onto Darb, with Razzle and Suguru getting a pick onto Star and Fred here. With it looks like Space Jam are just going to get the point here.
Both DPS able to work so well with that Kiri rush. It is going to be able to secure them the first point here.
Yeah, I mean, sitting on these ults as well, we do have them coming up to the Soul, which we have seen Razzle do quite a lot with the Soul before, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can do the same again.
Come on, let's move this payload.
And it looks like we are going to see the Echo copy and the Soldier 76 Visor most likely come out this fight, as it looks like they are going to try to set up into position here. And it looks like the Reaper is going to try to go on a little sneaky flank in the back line here. Get hopefully an early pick, and it looks like that Sojourn is going to be able to get that pick onto the 76 here and prevent that Visor from coming out.
Yeah, getting Darb quite low as well. I mean, we do see this Kiri cleanse come out to try and help the team come out. Suguru does TP into the middle. Unfortunately, not able to get any value off that just yet, with Diff getting a pick there onto Haku. Razzle then getting a pick there onto Fred. I mean, Juno for Juno there. So both teams are kind of just not going to have any speed here. We do see the Reaper copy come out there. I think falling very low, and Blaze King then getting a pick onto Suguru. Unfortunately, not able to get as much value on that Echo ult. Darb does fall very low, with Razzle then getting another pick here onto Darb, with Diff getting a counter pick onto Ant. We do see the Soul ult coming out with the combination of Kiri ult. We do manage to get the pick there onto Razzle with the Jungle Queen ult coming out. However, there was Glenn's, with Blaze King then getting 2 more picks there. Some huge picks there from Blaze King.
And the Queen is going to look to get out here and regroup with the team. Bit of an awkward ending to a fight there, and we are going to have the Maga cage, both Juno ults ready and the Reaper ult ready. Suguru going to look to try and probably go on a bit of a cheeky flank here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the best way to use that Reaper ult, considering they won't expect it. I mean, if I was this Reaper, I'd try and go around the high ground maybe and just jump on them. But with that Malga, you've got to watch out to make sure they don't stomp on them. However, we do see Reaper ult come out, and they just managed to get Diff here, however, falling very low. We do have Wraith Bomb to get out of that situation, though, with then getting a pick there onto Darb, forcing Eckler just to pull out there, with Blaze King does manage to get this last pick just before getting picked off there.
That Reaper going to do a really good job sustaining by doing all that damage to the Maga. Suguru pushing up to try and make a little bit more space there. And it looks like Space Jam is going to be capping the second point with 3 minutes and 40 seconds, only 10 seconds faster than Thelka did.
Yeah, I mean, with the momentum that Space Jam's got currently, I mean, they might be able to push it to a lot of extra time. Tackle just really need to make sure that they don't get caught here with loads of extra time from the side of Space Jam. However, they are looking to get a really good engage here with Mango getting an early pick here onto Blaze King, with Razzle getting a follow-up pick onto Fry. We do see this Mango come out, however, we do see Haku use this Juno ult nice and early there just to help their team in that Malga cage.
Red's going to be able to secure a late pick onto Star, but Subaru getting picked off by Diff there. It looks like Space Jam is going to try to hold this close and make as much space as possible. We do see the swap onto the Zarya here, and we do have almost 3 ults ready for both teams here. Actually, we do see the Sojourn ult come out and the enemy Juno ult come out here from Thelka. Razzie able to pick off the tank, though. It's looking pretty good for Space Jam here. We do have the 76 visor also come out.
And then we do see Material come out as well with the getting a pick here onto Fred and Star here. I mean, Thelka are going to have to try and touch here. We do see the Cookie come out here onto this Soj. However, they do unfortunately get took out of the ult there with Mango then getting a pick onto Diff. We have got to swap the ball here just to try and stall. We do see Ant get really low here. We do use TP, and then also we do see this Uncle forcing their team back into the spawn with the combination of the 3-foot ult, unfortunately not catching anyone as they are just going to rotate around through spawn here. We have the swap to Lucio as well just to try and stall time here. We really need to get some picks nice and early though, as it's just going to not help them here. Unfortunately, Subaru then gets a pick here onto Fred, but Blaze King does get a counter pick onto Subaru. They are going to force into this little room with Darb getting that pick onto Mango. They're sitting in a really good position here right now for Thelka, and it's exactly what they needed really.
Oh my gosh, and Space Jam almost actually securing the point right there. Only 2.04 meters left for them. That hamster swap actually managing to keep that point pretty steady for Thelka there.
Yeah, as we've seen in that first point, Thelka are also really good at stalling a point. I mean, although it was 100-100 for Space Jam, every time it got to overtime, it was easily like a 2-minute fight. It's very good to see that now they're winning them type of fights now.
And we are going to see the swap onto Sombra and even here from Space Jam that Sombra going to be looking to hack that ball and get it out of the way here. We are approaching a lot of ults for Thelka here.
Yeah, and we do see the 2 slams from Thelka. Unfortunately, not able to find anyone just yet. This does fall really low with Subaru getting a pick here onto Fred. However, Blaze King does get a retaliation pick onto Subaru. Darb is looking to kind of pressure their backline just a little bit with this getting a pick here onto Haku. However, Mango does jump onto this soldier and do pick him off as well. They are probably looking for this Kiri. However, they are going to peel a little bit for the support. I mean, Thelka are really good at holding this down. We have got this ball, so I'm probably looking to see it come out right now, these mines. Definitely to sustain the point just a little bit longer. With Diff using this Tracer ult, unfortunately not finding anyone. Ball just go into the backline here. However, Sombra is kind of good to stop them. We do see this Kirill come out. Unfortunately, Razzle gets a pick here onto Star and Diff with the combination of this Diva ult come out. Razzle then gets another pick onto Blaze King with the combination of the Sojo as well. I mean, the ball is left by himself, so he gives you his mind, but EMP is there to stop them. Again, Thelka are just kind of trying to stop them from tapping as much as they can. They did manage to get it to overtime right now, with Blaze King does come back as well. Unfortunately, not able to find those picks to win them that fight.
And Space Jam is going to be able to cap this point. Thelka doing a really good job stalling for about 2 minutes there. It is going to be a pretty even playing ground here for both times, with Thelka only having 40 more seconds.
Initiating.
Yeah, but I mean, from 3 minutes and 40 seconds, Thelka definitely done such a good job at stalling them all the way to overtime as well. And Space Jam also done a really good job, especially the Soj. I mean, they got a lot of them picked in that final fight there.
Absolutely, and that extra 40 seconds only secures Thelka about another fight and a half if taken pretty quickly there, but it should be enough time for them to be able to build some ults, and it looks like Thelka is going to be playing that same comp we did see earlier with the Maga, Soldier 76, the Tracer, the Kiri, but we are going to see, actually we are going to see lots of support swaps here from them. We're going to see the Juno Ana in from Space Jam here. We are going to see that Diva, Sojourn, Sombra, Kiri, and Juno, and we most likely are going to see that swap off of Sombra once they see that Thelka is not going to be playing ball here.
Yeah, definitely. As the Sugu did also just swap over to that Sombra just to stop that ball getting a lot of value that they were getting in that first fight when they swapped the ball. We are about to go into it right now with Tekla on the defense here on this Malga. It's going to be interesting to see if they can follow up with how they done the first time, as they did take a lot of time off Space Jam in that first defense. We are seeing Mango jump onto this Tracer straight away, getting the pick onto the Tracer. It's a very unfortunate pick for the side of Tekla, as they haven't got this Tracer, which Different seems to be doing a lot on this Tracer. Late King falling very, very low here. Kiri does come in to support them. However, it is currently a 5 versus 2. You do see Mango come back and help. Unfortunately, not able to get there just in time, as Mango gets the pick there onto Blaze King. They are trying to pressure this point just a little bit, as they are on a 5v3 right now. Unfortunately, Mango getting a pick onto Darb, and it is looking like Space Jam are just going to get this first point here.
Space Jam able to cap pretty quickly here. It's looking like doing such a great job collapsing onto Tekla in the building there, and it doesn't look like Tekla is going to be able to touch this point. And both teams about halfway to ult. We are going to see the swap off of Maga here onto the Zarya.
Yeah, definitely need a swap, especially into this D.Va. Especially into the whole team actually, because I mean with the Soldier, and they can get a lot of damage. And I mean with Zarya bubbles, I mean it's definitely great for Zarya to get the the beam charge here. Darb is looking to get the D.Va out of mech right now. Unfortunately, not able to do it, as the supports are feeling for D.Va. We did see a cleanse come out there quite early. D.Va is looking to jump onto the backline here, getting a pick here onto Blake. Unfortunately, C9ing the point.
Space Jam, just no one being close enough to grab that point there, making it a little scary for them.
Switching sides.
I mean, that was very unfortunate for Space Jam, as it looked like they were going to win that team fight there. I mean, it's what you always need to make sure, especially into overtime, that you're cautious of the point at all times.
So tragic, because there was 3 of them right there.
Yeah, but I am enjoying Mango on this D.Va as well. It seems like they always know that they need to pick out a target and just jump on them as well.
I am too. Mango doing so well, just coordinating the dives there with the GPS. And I'm guessing Mango probably was using the new D.Va perk, where reduced spread, but we are going to see a bit of a different comp. Well, tank just come out here from Mango. We are going to see the Hazard instead. Hazard being able to have a lot of sustain there, going to be able to survive a lot of damage, and we are still going to see Darb on the Zarya here, and it looks like we are going to see Virtual Fred pull out the Moira here and possibly try to put some pressure on the support backline of Space Jam.
Yeah, especially, I mean, they definitely did put a lot of pressure on here. We are seeing Darb also swap over to this ball comp, as we've seen Darb do quite a lot on this ball, on that final defense there. It's going to be interesting to see if we can do that. Nope, never mind. They swap over to this Zarya here. Both teams are just looking to get this poke damage out, just to try and see where the rest of the team is, get a feel for each other's comp. We have seen Diff do quite a lot on this Echo before, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can do what they can do on defense in the previous. We have got Darb jumping on the point straight away, with Mango falling really, really low here, with Darb then getting a pick onto Mango. Unfortunately, Darb does fall as well, with Subaru getting a pick onto them. I mean, Subaru then get another pick here onto Blaze and Virtual Field. Diff does get picked there onto Subaru, but unfortunately does fall as well. I mean, it's a good position for Tekla, because they are getting the closer spawn here, so they can just need to engage really fast right now. However, Mango did swap to the ball here just to get back just a little bit quicker, as we do see Tekla start to move in now on this Malga. I do expect them to probably do a little bit of a run in here and just try and jump onto their backline. But we did get a Kirisu to come out, unfortunately falling really low, with Blaze King getting the pick here onto Anne, with Haku then getting a retaliation pick onto Blaze King, and then Darb getting a pick here onto Haku. However, I mean, I don't think it's enough for them, as Mango does get a pick there onto Fred. However, Darb then getting a pick onto Subaru, but Razzle is back and gets a pick there onto Star. I mean, actually, they are going to get the point here.
It does look like we are going to have a Sojourn already here for Razzle, with only Well, we are in overtime here, actually, for Tekla. So if that Sojourn ult does get those picks, it is going to be a win for Space Jam here.
Yeah, it's a very crucial ult right now, as we've seen them do it before under pressure as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can do it again right now. What tackling to be aware of is if that's knowing that the Sojo is going to come out, how do you stop them from getting all the value? 1.95 meters on the thing, and we do see the Sojo come out with a huge slam from Mango. However, the Echo comes out, unfortunately not able to get any value on, with Darb falling really low. Razzle getting a pick then onto Darb. Blaze King then get a pick onto Mango, however, and does get a pick onto Diff. With Blaze King getting another pick onto Haku and Subaru. You do see this ult come out from Blaze King, and this map goes to Tekla. It's currently 1-1, JJ. What do we think of that map?
Pretty close match there from both teams. I think, unfortunately, if Space Jam had been on that point for a little bit longer, they most likely would have won the map, which is so tragic.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate to see. But I mean, Blaze King on this Sojo is so dominant all map, I think.
Very good map from both teams here, and Finny and I will be back shortly.
Hello, Kaizen. Welcome back. It is currently 1-1 now to both teams. Obviously, JJ, as we know, it's first to four, so best out of 7. Right now, it could go to any other team, right?
Yeah, it's even right now and looking pretty good for both teams. A lot of good fights put up from both of them.
Yeah, and as for bans, we've got a whole new set of bans as well.
Yeah, some interesting ones, especially given we're going to Circuit Royale here, which is a pretty long-range map where you traditionally see a lot of snipers played here. We are going to see a lot of target bans here, though. We are going to see the Juno and the Curie ban, as we did see those played a lot on King's Row, and it looks like we are going to see the Sojourn and Diva ban come out to Space Jam here, as we did see Mango be pretty scary on that Diva, and the Sojourn also pretty scary from Space Jam here, and it looks like we are gonna see a pretty similar comp from both teams actually come out here. Traditionally see that Zenyatta and that Baptiste played here on this map, as well as the Sigma, but that has been changing a little bit in recent times, and it looks like we are gonna get started here in 15 seconds.
Yeah, quite interesting with the Kiri ban, considering that was from the side of Space Jam. So I thought they were going to try and play this Anna here, but I think they just want to get rid of a character that maybe Tackle's more comfortable on. Like, they might be a lot more comfortable on this Kiri. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Anna plays in now. As I said earlier with the no Kiri, we are seeing Dift come out on this Pharah, trying to get some early damage out onto Space Jam. Unfortunately, I don't think they managed to find anyone. I've seen Suguru come up to this high ground here on this Soj. Unfortunately, he's trying to just find some poke damage here. I mean, Tackler are on this high ground trying to get some good pick here, but Evolution just managed to get an early pick here onto Blaze King, with Mango falling quite low, forced out. However, Suguru just get a pick here onto Diff. It's currently a 5 versus 3 right now, with then Mango getting a pick onto Dar, forcing Tackler just to come out. I mean, I think Space Jam are very comfortable on this double hit scan here.
Yeah, Space Jam just being able to take a lot of space on those picks there, and it looks like
Pun intended.
are yeah, and it looks like they are pretty good on the snipers here and very comfortable, like you said, Vinny, on this more longer range map here.
Yeah, it was interesting to see why we stayed on this Pharah, especially playing into a Bat Soldier and Freya as well. This is going to be interesting to see if they're going to swap soon. I just don't see how Pharah can work into this personally, but we do see his charge come out early here. Unfortunately, not able to finish off Mango, but they do get the pick here onto the Rhine, the Soldier, and the Bat, which means that Space Jam are going to cap this first point with 5 minutes on the clock, JJ. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, and it looks like Space Jam is already quickly approaching these ults here. We are going to see these Zenyatta stay back on the point here, and we actually are going to see the swap from that Reinhardt to the Ramatra here, looking to try and break through that shield.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we are just swapping over to this Ram, as you mentioned earlier, you know, to try and get an advantage onto the shield. That might mean that they might be trying to force this a lot more in their face comp instead of it trying to be a poke battle. But Sig is looking to get a rock on someone. Unfortunately, like Spaghetti does get an early pick here onto Bar on this map, with seeing the Fredo come out. Unfortunately, getting caught here on this side bit there, with Mango getting a pick here onto Darben and then getting a pick onto Diff.
Blaze King sneakily in the back line there, trying to survive. This Zenyatta and Baptiste with the 76 looking to collapse on him, and it does look like Space Jam is going to be able to cap this point once again super quickly, with 4 minutes still on the clock approaching the second point, and it does look like they are going to have 5.5 minutes here. Their ult economy is still looking pretty good, pretty even from both teams actually here, and Space Jam just needs to keep making space here.
I guess, pun intended.
Yeah.
We do see this Zen do a lot of assisting with this Ram, as this Ram seems to lose health really fast with that Discord orb on them, especially with the Freya Soldier backline as well. As we've just seen there, they did get a pick onto Darb and Blaze King there. I mean, they definitely need to split something up from the side of Tekla.
And it looks like Space Jam is going to keep pushing forward, almost approaching full ults once again. Both teams going to look to most likely use them here for this last fight. Blaze King able to get a pick on a Suguru here. We do see the visor and the window come out here actually from Thekla, which kind of wasn't of too much value besides getting Space Jammed back up a little bit, which might put Thekla into a bit of a sticky situation.
Yeah, and we do see the counter come out here from Space Jam with Darb kind of stuck in his little corner, and unfortunately Ants does get a really good pick here onto Darb, as the rest of the team are just going to have to push back here with all of them being quite low. Mango then getting a pick here onto Bar and Dip here and Star. I mean, it just looks like they're so comfortable on this circuit map here.
And unfortunately, it does not look like Thekla is going to be able to touch here. With 4 minutes almost remaining on the clock for them, it is looking a little bit scary for Thekla here.
Yeah, 100%, as, I mean, we just seen there was absolutely hit scan dominance on the side of Space Jam. Obviously, this is also on their ping, so it just seems like they know what they're doing on this map, and they know how to engage with the Sig, the Sig, the Soldier, and this Freya.
Yeah, it just looks like that Space Jam is comfortable on taking these longer angles and being able to snipe down the main there. That Zenyatta also doing a lot of damage there and doing a lot of work there with the Discord orbs, just being able to put out so much damage. And it looks like we are going to see the Echo come out here again from Divd, and it looks like we are going to be going for more of a divey comp here on the side of Thekla. A bit different from what you traditionally see. Like I mentioned earlier, it is more pokey, and we are going to see light spaghetti, that's who you are now, on the Ashe here, which is also a bit different from what we've been seeing these past few games.
Yeah, we've seen Light a lot more on this Soldier, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can pull out here with this Ashe. As you mentioned earlier, obviously, this is a very poke-dominant map. I just think from the side of Thekla, they're thinking, okay, so the poke battle didn't work for us. What can we do now? So they're probably looking for play a bit more into Diff's hero pool, like we've seen them a lot more on this Flex DPS. So they are probably looking to pair that with this Winston here, as we do see them come in right now here. Mango is holding quite up forward here, trying to create that space for his hit scans just to do a lot of damage. We do see Darb jump onto Mango here. Unfortunately, Winston just doesn't do enough damage to sustain that by themselves. They need to try and coordinate their dives a bit more together, with Mango then getting quite a good pick there onto Diff.
Looking pretty good already for Space Jam. Mango quickly being able to build his ult there, it's looking like, which is going to be pretty big at being able to stall Thekla's time.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to do as well, especially with a heavy poke comp. You kind of want to make sure that they can't push up on you right now, as, I mean, having a hit scan up close isn't really ideal for them. But we do see Darb jump in here with a huge immort from Barflower there, keeping their tank just alive, just a little bit there. Unfortunately falling to Suguru here again with Evolution on this Zen, with that Discord orbit just doing so much damage to their tank.
Mango almost falling there as well, but the support's able to sustain him through all that damage, and he was able to back up there, and it does look like we are going to see Thekla attempt to take this high ground from Space Jam here.
Yeah, 100%. It's exactly what they need to do. I mean, if you give the hit temp the space they want, they're just going to dominate here. With Darb then falling quite low here, unfortunately, they're not able to finish off Darbless, and it's able to get back to the support. However, they do manage to get a pick here onto Star with, and pulling out this baffle, forcing Thekla just to kite it out, really.
And we are going to see Mango with this Sigma ult on the ready here, but Thekla ready with 3 of their own. We do have 226 Visor come out here, and we do have Copy as well. Zenyatta ult come out to try and help Space Jam sustain all this damage being done, and it does look like the fight is going to go in favor of Space Jam here.
Yeah, I mean, they just were so fast to shut down any attempt that Thekla are having now to dive, which we do see them now switch over to the Zarya. I mean, in this moment, I'd also have a similar thing of like, what do I do here? As we do see this early Bob come out, I mean, Darb is just going to use it to kind of farm some bubble charge here with a very early pick onto this Bob here. Unfortunately, not able to get any value with it. However, it definitely did stall them just for just a little bit. I mean, with 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock, you need to win this fight.
Absolutely, and we still do have a lot of ults on already. We do have the Baptiste window come out, but unfortunately just not able to get a lot of damage. It does force Space Jam to have to kite it though, but the payload actually still being backed up, but it does get grabbed by Bar Flower.
Yeah, and then we are seeing Mangles come out right now, getting a pick here onto Barflower with Subaru, using this Soldier getting a pick here onto Darb as well, forcing Tackler once again just to come out here. However, Diff, just before getting picked off, managed to get a pick here onto Evolution, which is quite good for the side of Tackler, as they can engage a bit quicker now without having to worry about this Discord orb.
Only 30 seconds remaining on the clock for Tekla. It is looking a bit scary, but since the recent changes, Zenyatta has actually gotten a change to his ult. When he does ult, there is a perk where it'll put Discord orbs on everyone in range, so this could be a pretty big ult here coming out from Star. As Space Jam is already down one, we do see Star go in and try and make space and put those Discord orbs on people, but unfortunately it does not look like Tekla is going to be able to follow up on it much, but it does push back Space Jam and allow them to make some space. We do have the back window come out here from On Zero, which does allow Space Jam to retake this space. It is a 3v3 here. We do have the Sigma ulti come out here.
Yeah, and we did see Evolution get a pick here onto Darb, once again getting a pick here onto Blaze King, and we do see the Zeno come out, meaning that I don't think Tekla can cap it here, and it is currently now 2-1 to Space Jam.
Pretty good math there from Space Jam. Couldn't have asked for a better outcome if you were on their team. But Vinny and I will be back again shortly.
Hello, Kaizen, and welcome back. It is currently 2-1 right now to Space Jam. We are heading into Esperanza on the push map. JJ, I mean, last map was quite dominant to Space Jam on that poke comp, correct?
Yes, just absolute domination we saw from Space Jam there. Like I said, it looks like long-range maps working in their favor for them, but we are going to see the bans come out for this map. We are going to see a lot of targeted bans once again. We are going to see a Cassidy ban, a Soldier, a Tracer ban, as well as the Wu Yang ban again. Tracer being very, very dominant on this map as she is able to take those off angles and move pretty quickly. And it looks like Blizz King does want to have a Reaper 1v1 with Suguru here. Maybe we will see it come out. That would be pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. But that Soldier 76 also able to take those off angles pretty quickly and do lots of damage. The Wu Yang able to also do a lot of damage with those orbs once again, and it looks like we are going to see maybe the Reaper 1v1 come out here, which is going to be pretty fun if we do. No!
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, we're not seeing the Reaper 1v1. That's unfortunate.
I'm so excited.
But yeah, as you mentioned, a lot of target banning is bound to happen at this point in the game now. As I said earlier, they played each other before, so I mean it's kind of expected. As we are running out on this Malga with the Reaper here, I mean they're expecting a Reaper 1v1. Unfortunately, they're not going to get it. As Suguru just come out on this Sombra. We do see Sombra trying to get around just a little bit, trying to get a few Ryrises off. Definitely thought get some good ult charge here. Blaze King just trying to contest this Sombra. Unfortunately, Sombra does manage to get out here. Venture is coming out of the ground here to try and hop onto this Mango here, with Vortify being forced out here. Very quick Vortify, they are going to fall really, really low here. And they do manage to get the pick here onto this Lucio with Mango also, as I said, falling really low. Unfortunately, not able to get a pick until now.
And it looks like Thekla is going to be able to win the slow fight there we saw. And it looks like we do see the Reaper come out from Suguru here. And Mango swap there onto that Manga. We are going to see more of a mirrored comp here. Also going to look to try and play slow. We are already approaching the Moira and the Reaper ult here from Thekla, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, Tater, obviously, as you said, it's quite a slow fight, but he played it very well there. I mean, we are seeing the Malga mirror here, which is it's going to be very interesting to see, considering whichever Malga kind of wins, it kind of means he kind of won the fight there, as we've just seen there, like, he just managed to get a pick hit onto the Malga with Suguru, then getting a pick onto Bar. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, it's just looking like it's going straight to Space Jam.
Yeah, and it does look like Mango was able to win that Maga fight. It did seem like Space Jam was able to focus Darb a little bit more there as he was cut off from Thekla. And we are approaching the Venture ult here for Thekla. We are going to see ults come out this fight and try and either delay Space Jam from pushing any further or win the fight in the favor of Thekla here.
Yeah, we are looking to see this Reaper push up a bit, making Mango fall to like half health here. Unfortunately, I feel like this Malga should probably rush it in here, considering it's quite low. We do see the Reaper in the backline of Tesla's, but we do see the Cleanse come out with this early battle come out with the combination of the Sojo. Unfortunately, not able to find anyone as Blaze King, Barflower, and Disc managed to get a few picks there, with Blaze King finalizing this fight.
Unfortunately for Space Jam, Thekla just able to win that fight with less ult, so their ult economy looking pretty good for them. But Thekla does not have much more of an advantage on that bot there.
Push.
Yeah, I mean, they are definitely going to be looking to get a lot more push. Probably looking to get this early spawn. Tackler are probably going to just try and go for the ult fight here, especially with it coming up to his Mouse cage, especially with that Venture ult. However, Razzie and Suguru managed to get these early picks here onto this Moira and this Reaper, taking that Reaper 1v1 like a champ, with Darb falling quite low here. We do see this Malgo come out, however, Kiri is 1 HP, managed to get picked off by Suguru here, with Anne getting that final pick onto Darb. We did see this Venture ult come out, unfortunately not finding anyone, but they are able to come back to their team.
Space Jam once again taking great possession of the robot here. We do have both teams pretty even. On the ult economy, we are going to see most likely the Mauga and the Reaper ult come out at the same time. And we are going to also be looking for Thelka's Reaper ult to come out during this fight. This Venture really trying to look to deal some damage on the backline. We do have the Mauga ult come out here with Thelka's Fury ult coming out. DLZ King able to take out the tank, and unfortunately, it looks like DLZ King just able to clean up everything on the side of Space Jam.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate fight for Space Jam considering you invested 2 ults there. 2 very good ults as well, the Mauga ult and the Reaper ult. Unfortunately, not able to get as much value on it as they wanted. I mean, they did get the supports there, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them to win the fight. As for the side of Thelka, they're coming up to quite a lot of ults here as they come into this fight right now. Probably expecting to see this Reaper ult come out very, very soon right now, as they are kind of holding on for it just for a little bit too long, but sometimes you just need to find the right moment. With Thelka trying to take this high ground here and trying to jump onto Space Jam, they definitely need to jump onto this point. Try and take control over it. As we mentioned earlier, it's a bit of a slow fight right now.
The bot pretty stagnant where it's at. Both teams really just looking to try and build ults here. I'd really like to see them come out, and we do have the Bap and the Sojourn ult come out. And finally the Reaper ult from DLZ King coming out, but unfortunately it's not catching anyone out. But Razzle's all able to catch out to, unfortunately, Mango getting traded by Diff there as well as Razzle, but it looks like the teams are pretty even here.
Unfortunately, Bar's just not able to finish it off there. JJ, that was quite a good fight, I think. I mean, a lot of back and two from both teams. It just Space Jam just managed to take over just a little bit there.
Pretty even skill level between both the teams. It's been quite a difficult push for Space Jam, just trying to get this spot to the next point.
Yeah, it seems like Tater keeping this lead here, especially pushing it to this first point. They definitely need to try and just get a bit more of an advantage as it's very close for both sides right now. We do see the Moira ult come out quite early here, just trying to keep their Mauga up with the combination of the Ventral. However, we do get a Reaper ult come out, unfortunately not able to find anyone, but Razzle does get a pick here onto Diff, with Blaze King getting the pick onto Suguru. I mean, both teams are looking quite even right now. However, Tater doesn't have a tank right now, so they are kind of forced just to pull out here. But I mean, Space Jam are not letting them get out without a fight here. It was Razzle getting a pick onto Blaze King.
And it looks like Space Jam is finally going to be able to push around this corner here. Thelka in a bit of an awkward position as the Reaper did get staggered a bit there, but it does look like they are... Oh, it looks like they are going to be able to recapture the bot there as Space Jam was forced to back up a little bit and give some space. Yeah,
and Space Jam are very split off right now with the support. However, they are managed to regroup just a little bit here. Suguru looking to get an off angle. However, we see this Kirio come out really early with Mauga ult coming out. Unfortunately, Thelka do manage to capitalize on that, getting a pick there onto Mauga, with Blaze King then getting a pick here onto And as well, forcing Space Jam just to pull out right now. They are looking to get some stall time here on this Moira, but they do manage to pick him off here. I mean, it's very close. Like, Space Jam always keep pushing it just really, really close to where Thelka has pushed it. And every time they just manage to get the retouch.
Absolutely, with 3 minutes remaining on the clock, Thelka is going to have the better ults here. Unfortunately, Razzle getting kicked off early by Diff there, which is going to be very, very detrimental to the team as they did have their ult ready there for the fight. But Thelka finally is going to be able to push this robot. What they might have needed to just win the game there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're sitting on a few ults right now, and with Rousey not being here, they definitely should try and ult quite early. However, they are falling quite low here on the venture. We do see this Rousey bring out this ult quite early. However, Blaze King dunks down, getting 2 picks with their ults right now. However, Mango then getting a pick onto Spread. I mean, they are forced to come back a little bit with Mango then getting a follow-up pick onto Dab. However, Diff just get a pick here onto Mauga, and the Moira here kind of forcing his back to pull back. I mean, and they are going to get some more progression on this point.
And it looks like Thelka is going to continue to push the robot with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining on the clock. It is a little scary here for Space Jam as they do need to stop this bot from gaining progress for Thelka here.
Yeah, and it is looking like Space Jam are going to be able to get here for the recontestation. However, we do see this Venge ult come out with the combination of the Mauga. However, the battle right outside of the Mauga ult, I mean, doing so much damage to the solo Mauga. Diff managed to get a pick onto Razi. However, Subaru then get a pick here onto the Mauga. I mean, without a tank, JJ, do you reckon they're going to be able to pull this back?
I don't think so. It's looking a little scary, but it does look like Space Jam here is. Never mind, we're gonna pursue the supports here, looking to try to get a stagger, but it does look like both supports are gonna be able to get it out. The robot not getting pushed that far from that fight, unfortunately.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, sitting on this Reaper ult, though, it could be a big ult for them and give them the extra push to try and push this spot just a little bit more. All over Tackler did manage to get forward one before they pushed the spot, so they are going to be able to engage it quite early. We do see Reaper TP behind them. We might see the Reaper ult come out. Unfortunately not. They are forced to pull back out as the Mauga did seem to find them quite quick. We did use the lamp there quite early, meaning that Tackler should be able to push in here. We are seeing Suguru come out to TP once again. They are just looking to find this ult right now. Unfortunately, not able to get that opportunity. However, like Spaghetti, just get a pick hit onto Blaze King with Mauga running in onto their team. We do see this Reaper ult come out, finding this Moira. However, Diff does manage to get a pick hit onto Subaru with Light Spaghetti, then getting a pick onto Fred. I mean, it's a lot of back and two from both teams, but it is looking like Space Jam are probably going to win this fight here and get a bit more progression on this spot.
Rezel was able to take that robot there from Tekla. Unfortunately, Space Jam is not going to be able to step off the spot for 1 second, as it would mean that would be the end of the map for them here. Both teams pretty even on the ult economy once again, and it looks like we are going to see them come out this fight as Tekla does need to stop Space Jam from pushing any further to win this game.
I mean, yeah, Tater need to win this fight for them to win this point here. I mean, Space Jam are sitting on quite a few ults, but so are Tackler, so both teams are probably looking to get some good ults off here, especially with Diff coming up to his Ventral and this Reaper ult. We do see the Kyrio come out with a combination of this Mauga ult, keeping them all in this room. We do see the ult come out from the Reaper and the Spencer getting 2 picks here. I mean, it's looking very good for Tackler right now. And it's looking like this map is going to go to Tackler.
And that will be bringing our score 2-2 here. What an interesting map. Both teams so close with the skill rank we have.
Yeah, 100%. I just think, I mean, every game is like one wins one, the other one wins one. It's a very great winners final right now. It's very interesting to see how they might win this.
Well, that'll be it from Finny and I, and we will be back in a few minutes once again after the break.
Hello, Kaizen, and welcome back. It is currently 2-2 right now, with Tekla taking that last map on push. We are heading into Suravasa on Flashpoint. JJ, what do you think of that last map?
The last map, pretty close once again. We did see a lot of the back and forth. But for our bans, I honestly have no comment on what these bans are. I'm gonna keep it real. we got the Bat ban, we got the Lucio ban, the Juno, and the Curie. You can only ban one tank, but you can ban 4 supports. I'll just keep it there. So I don't really know what supports we're gonna pull out this game, but I'm curious to see.
Yeah, I mean, for supports, I mean, they're definitely going to be forced. I mean, we've seen Space Jam come out on this Wu Yang here, so I'm probably expecting to see that again. But as for the side of Tekla, I mean, we've seen both teams also run the Zen, so they might try and come into this like Zen Wu Yang or Zen Moira type thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the Wu Yang on this map personally, because it kind of is a bit of an odd map. But we do see from Thelka we do have the Ana and the Moira come out here, and it looks like we are gonna have the Moira Wu Yang here. Never mind, we're going back to the Moira Lifeweaver. What a comp we have here, and we are gonna see Dar, but once again on the Maga, we're gonna have the Reaper and the Venture, gonna look to do a lot of up close damage. So Space Jam here is going to need to look to play some poke. We are going to have Mango on the Earth again, the Sojourn from Light, and Suguru on the Reaper. Going to look to do that duel again against Blaze King, it looks like.
Yeah, 100%. We see that Darb's quite comfortable on this Malga, so it's going to be interesting to see how they can get value on this again. With both teams looking just to find some initial pick here. We do see Reaper fall quite low here, managed to get the TP out and to get back to his support here. Darb is kind of just forced to run in here, however falling really low. He hits speared back by this Orisa, and Orisa just get a pick here onto Darb, with Ant getting a pick onto Bar. This then coming out of the ground, getting a pick onto Light, unfortunately then getting picked off by Evolution, with Blaze King then getting a pick onto Mango. Quite a good pick here from Blaze King, also getting a pick here onto this Moira, with this Fred getting a pick onto Suguru. I mean, Tater can probably run to this point now and take the point switch.
And it looks like the Wu Yang is going to look to try and deal a little bit more damage. Able to push back that Reaper, and it looks like get out and regroup with the rest of the team, possibly. Oh, Blaze King actually being picked out there by the Sojourn.
Yeah, and it's looking that Space Jam are going to take advantage of that pick. They're running into the face right now, with the Moira falling quite low. I mean, managed to get out alive, with Suguru then get a pick here onto this. We do see the tree come out here from Fred, unfortunately getting picked off by Mango, with Darb then getting a pick onto Light, with the Mango getting a pick onto Bar. I mean, the Malga is trying to use this tree as much as they can here, with Blaze King coming back. However, we do see the Moira come out here, getting a pick onto Blaze King here and Darb, meaning that Space Jam are going to get the map here. Not the map, sorry. And get the point here.
Unfortunately, that Lifeweaver ult just not able to get a lot of value going there. We do see both teams with a lot of ults on the ready here. Most likely going to see them come out, as Tekla is going to look to possibly try and fight this point, or maybe they just wait for the next one and say GG, go next, and pull out early ults to engage the fight.
Yeah, we do see a few ults coming here. We do have Blaze King here with the Reaper. Unfortunately, they're not able to touch in time, with Light getting a pick onto Blaze, with Diff then getting a pick onto Ant. However, Light does get a counter pick onto Diff. We are seeing Light being quite confident on this Soch here, with Mango then getting a pick onto Darb.
Light just able to take such a scary angle there on Sojourn, just able to rule over the high ground there. We are going to see Space take the point pretty early here and have point advantage.
Yeah, it's very important to get to the point first and kind of hold it down, because it kind of makes the other team a bit slower to come in, which means you normally do get a few percentages on the point. And we are running in with 4 ults here from the side of Space Jam and 3 from the side of Tekla. I mean, it's looking that Space Jam do have the ult advantage here. However, Blaze King does manage to get picked here onto Evolution using that Reaper ult. Unfortunately, Mango does get a very quick pick here onto Blaze. With this then getting a pick on come out on Mango. However, doesn't find anyone, but they do manage to get a picket onto Darb and Bar, and it's looking like Space Jam are going to win this team fight, JJ.
An's very scary on that Wu Yang and Tekla's backline, just able to take down both supports. Honestly, from the side of Tekla, I'd kind of like to see the Tracer here, as Wu Yang does actually struggle dealing with dive a lot.
Yeah, and we have seen Diff come out on this Tracer quite a lot, so I definitely think it's possible for Tekla to swap over to this Tracer, as you mentioned. I mean, we did use quite a lot of ults inside of Tekla with only having this Moira ult to use as the side of Space Jam. They do have this Soldier they are using here to counteract with this Moira ult. Unfortunately, not finding anyone just yet. We are seeing Diff looking to get a pick here onto this Soldier, but the Soldier just managed to get the pick here onto Diff with the cast ult coming out. Unfortunately, not finding anyone. However, Evolution did manage to get a pick here onto Darb with Light getting a pick onto Bar. Finally, just clearing up here, and it's looking like Space Jam are going to get this point here.
And Space Jam is already going to be on their second point here, only needing one more to take this game. We are going to see the swap onto D.Va from Darb, it looks like, to try and help and deal with that. Orisa and Wu Yang, as Wu Yang does also struggle against the D.Va due to Matrix.
Yeah, and it is looking that Space Jam are going to get to a point here first. However, with this D.Va, as you mentioned, I mean, that defense matrix can do a lot for your team if used correctly. I mean, sometimes you can overuse that matrix when you don't need to, but we do see this ult come out from Evolution here. Diff getting a pick here onto Light, a really good pick because we've seen Light do a lot of damage with this Sojourn. However, Evolution just get a pick here onto Bar with Diff, then get a pick onto Subaru. I mean, it's looking quite even right now. Both still have their tanks. Darb is looking to get the pick here onto Mango, which he does. With that means Tekla is going to cap this first point here.
And that was a pretty good fight from Tekla there. Blizz King and Diffs all on the ready, and a nano boost from their Ana also ready to combo with one of their ults. We are going to have the Wu Yang all ready from Ons here, which I would like to see Space Jam engage with possibly here.
Yeah, well, especially with this first pick that Light gets onto Bar here, you might be expecting to see maybe no ult come out here, as you have got this initial pick. You might be looking to get it. However, Diff does get a pick onto Evolution, though Subaru gets a counter pick onto Blizz King here. I mean, if I was Space Jam right now, I mean, you've got your pick. You don't really need to invest anything here, which they don't do, which means that they are going to run into this next fight with 4 ults here. As for Tekla, they also can 4 ults ult economy for both teams are looking quite good, if I don't say so myself, JJ.
Yeah, we are going to see a lot of ults come out here from the team. If Tekla is able to manage to win this point, then that might be the secured point for them if they do win this final fight here.
Yeah, we do see the ult come out already, as we do see the Nano Rider come out with the D.Va ult. Is at use here, as we do see the Orisa ult come out, however, very, very low, with Diff then getting a pick onto Subaru, but Subaru getting a counter pick onto Diff. I mean, again, it's looking quite even with the D.Va ult coming out, possibly just to get that rematch. Unfortunately, I think that Orisa just accepted her fate with that D.Va bomb there, as we do get the remake on the D.Va. We have only got Wu Yang and the Soj left. However, you do get a pick here onto this Ana. Darb falling very, very low. As you see both ults come out from Light and Diff. I mean, Diff getting 2 picks here onto Light and Ant. However, Subaru getting a pick onto Diff. I mean, both teams are just fighting for their life here, with Subaru getting another pick onto Blizz King. Only having your D.Va there out of net, unfortunately. However, we did see the Moira ult come out with getting a pick there onto Subaru. However, you have no tank, but with the addition of the Ana coming back with that huge anti onto this Orisa, you are going to get the pick there onto them. With Light Spaghetti coming back in, getting 2 picks here onto onto Bar, sorry. With then it's looking that Space Jam are going to take this map. I mean, what a great final fight for both teams.
Both teams absolutely fighting for their life. What a long and great fight from both teams, just constantly trading out. And what great ult usage from On Zero. They're using that Wu Yang ult more defensively than offensively to try and mitigate the Soldier 76's ult and stun it.
I mean, we've got to talk about like how they lost their tank from Space Jam and they still managed to pull it back with this Soj. I mean, Light on this Soj is proving to be a very big nuisance to Tekla right now.
Yeah, and that'll be it from Finny and I, and we will be back again shortly.
Hello, Kaizen, and welcome back. It's currently 3-2 to Space Jam right now. We are heading over into Escort on Dorado here. JJ, what do we think? I mean, it's very close each game.
Yeah, we have seen some games where Space Jam just absolutely dominates, and then we have seen some very close games. But for the bans here, we are gonna see the Sigma ban come out here as Tekla doesn't really want to deal with Space Jam Sigma once again. We are gonna see the Sojourn ban come out as Light has been absolutely dominating on the Sojourn, just able to take those nasty off angles and just secure so many easy early kills. And then we are also going to see a Soldier and Venture ban. Space Jam just tired of dealing with this Venture, just able to dish out so much damage that Space Jam can't necessarily always keep up with. But we are going to see some different comps here being played. We are going to see Mango on the Diva. We are going to have Razzie on the Cassidy, Suguru on the Pharah. We are going to see Ans once again on this Wu Yang, and we are going to have Taku on the Mercy looking to play Farm Mercy here with Suguru. We are going to have Darb once again on this Maga. Blaze King is going to pull out the Cassidy. Dift, as we saw earlier on this Echo, really able to get some good angles and get early picks. Star on this Fury once again, and then Virtual on this Juno.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I think I've seen Mango on this Diva, so it's interesting to see what they do. We do see Mango get a really early pick here onto Blazing, unfortunately getting caught on that wall, as that's kind of going to slow down Tekla just a little bit, with Darb also falling a little bit low. They need to figure out how they're going to deal with this hard, like, Pharah Mercy here. You definitely have to try and get the Mercy off first before getting the Pharah, as the Mercy is just going to constantly heal the Pharah here. Darb is looking to get some damage here, as Diff does get a pick here onto Razzie. A very good early pick from the possible Mercy Res here, which we do see happen with Suguru then getting a pick here onto Diff. I mean, what a great res there. I mean, it just evened the playing field again. You're now up here with Suguru, then getting a follow-up pick here on Star and Fred here, forcing Darb to push out. I just don't know if he's going to get back in time without dying here. Blaze King does get a pick here onto Ans, with Mango getting a pick onto Blaze, then Diff getting a pick onto Suguru. I mean, Tekla's looking quite good right now. They kind of need to rush in quite fast right now, as they have got the earlier spawn advantage.
We do see a lot of trades come out there. The Diva actually going to work really well with the Farm Mercy. Unfortunately, it looks like Haku's just going to get picked off there by both of Tekla's supports.
Yeah, very good pick to get off to begin with, as it kind of limits Suguru then on the Pharah, as we do see Diff then get a pick here onto Suguru. Blaze King falling really, really low here. They definitely jump on that, however, the supports do manage to heal them just in time. Diff falling very low. We do see that this Echo will come out, mirroring this Diva here. I mean, what a great mirror to do, as the Diva does come out with mech here, and Blaze King is managed to get the pick off here from Diff onto Ans and Mango with a huge Diva ult with that Echo. I mean, we've seen Diff on this Echo ult not really get a lot of value up until this point.
Yeah, and we are going to have a lot of ults ready for both teams here. Tekla already to the second point with 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining on the clock. It's looking pretty good for them to be able to push this point, but sometimes this point is a bit odd to push, and most teams do typically play it a lot slower than the first or third point.
Yeah, I think Dorado's very like high ground dominant. I mean, with this Mercy Pharah as well, that kind of plays into what you want. As you can see here, Darb falling very, very low to this Pharmacy right now. However, Blaze King does get the pick here onto Suguru. However, the Taku does get the res here, with Blaze King falling quite low. You do have this castle, so you might see this come out, but we do see the Wu Yang will come out onto the Diva, getting the pick here onto this Echo with the combination of Suguru using the Pharah, getting a pick onto Blaze King. But however, Fred is going to get that pick onto Suguru, and getting that pick onto Darb.
And Space Jam was able to finish that fight, and it looks like they are going to be able to stall the payload. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. We do still have a lot of ults ready for both teams. We are going to see Darb actually pull out the Diva mirror here, it looks like.
Yeah, and we also see Suguru swap over to this Ash, probably to help with Diff on this Echo, as we are seeing Diff do quite a lot here with this Echo, especially into that Pharah Mercy. I mean, they kept getting them constant picks onto the Pharah. As we just seen there, that Ash swap was definitely gave him value, as Mango did just get that finished off pick onto Dis, as Razzie then getting a pick onto Star. We do see the Diva ult come out early, but we do get the rematch pick onto Darb here, which is a huge rematch pick, as they do manage to clean up the rest of the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately Darb is in a really awkward position there, thinking they weren't going to get caught out there on that corner, but unfortunately the bomb is barely making the mech, and then getting remeched on by Mango is a little tragic.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Darb there, but you know, he's going to bounce back and he's going to give it his best here. As we do see them trying to get some push here onto the point. However, Subaru does get his early pick here onto Fred with Diff using the Echo ult, however falling really low very fast. We do see Razzie use this cast ult, unfortunately not finding anyone, with Diff then throwing out Bob, getting a pick here onto Subaru, with Ant then getting Darb out of mech. However, Space Jam is kind of forced back just a little bit here.
Yang really looking to try and do some damage here, and once again build the ult, probably give it to the Diva again to be able to make some space, but it looks like Space Jam is going to be able to push up here and push back Thelka into their spawn.
Yeah, it seems like when Space Jam win a fight, they always like to be super aggressive here, pushing them really back just to stop them from getting any momentum back there. Sometimes that can really not help you, because sometimes you could get picked off, but it seems to be not the case with Space Jam. Do you see this early Juno will come out from Fred here, with then the combination of this Wuyang ult stunning the cast and the Fred here. Unfortunately not able to find anyone here. Blaze King does get the pick here onto Mango. Sugar is looking to pick off this Juno, unfortunately not able to find them, as Diff is looking to find this Ashe. With the Darb also jumping on him as well. It's a very coordinated dive there from both teams, with Blaze King getting 2 picks here onto the support lineup from Space Jam. I mean, that was really good attack.
Here, yeah. About to cap this point with 50 seconds, and it looks like Mango is able to touch, but unfortunately just not able to sustain long enough to be able to prevent it.
Yeah, and it's looking like Blaze King just cleared up there. I mean, they capped with 2 minutes now left on the clock. They're definitely going to have to be quick with their engages now, just to try and get a lot more cart percentage, maybe trying to push up just a little bit more, as the Mercy is really low, as Blaze King does get a pick here onto Ashe and Haku.
And there is going to be a lot of ults ready for Thelka. It looks like we are going to have the Echo copy ready once again, and it looks like Dip was maybe trying to scope out, maybe get an early idea of who to copy here for this fight. This could be the last fight if prolonged long enough for Thelka. We do have a lot of ults come out. We see the Bob and the Kiri ult come out here, and it looks like both teams are going to try to fight for the point.
Yeah, we do see Subaru get 2 picks with this Bob onto Star and Blaze King. We do see the Diva ult come out from Mango. Unfortunately not finding anyone, but it is great for the remake, as they were quite low. It is forcing Thelka just to pull back a little bit. I mean, Thelka is invested a lot of ults in, so did Space Jam, and it looks like it went to the side of Space Jam just a little bit more there.
And we are going to see Blaze King and Darb ready with the ult here. Blaze King going to be using the ult to try and make space, but unfortunately Cassidy's ult is going to be a little difficult to use on this point, specifically with the cart being so around this corner.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting on 2 ults there with the Diva and the Cast. I'm probably expecting to see the Diva kind of use ult as more of a remake. I feel like that's always the best way to use Diva ult, as it gives you just another second life, really. They are looking to take this high ground just a little bit, take control of it. We do see that Mango is joining them up there to try and contest them just a little bit. Not giving him enough space, but Darb is D-Max here. Unfortunately not using his ult here, which is probably the best, as you do have 30 seconds left. What Thelka needs to do now is just regroup, come back, and just fight for this last bit.
And it looks like we are going to have full support ready for Space Jam, which could make or break the fight here if used correctly. Wu Ying's all going to be able to prevent actually Blaze King's ult, as well as Darb's remech if used correctly here.
Yeah, I mean, 5 seconds on the clock, you really need to get a recontest right now, as Diff is going for it. Unfortunately, not being able to find it. However, Darb is using his bomb here, throwing it on the high ground. We do see the Kiri cleanse come out with Blaze King using his castle, finding Subaru, and then also finding Ant as well. Unfortunately, Mango does get the pick onto Blaze. We do see Wuyang come out, unfortunately not finding anyone as of right now. However, Star is very low, with Mango getting the pick onto Star, with Razzie then getting a pick onto Fred. We do see Diva come out, unfortunately not finding anyone, but forcing him off the point a little bit. The remake does take Darb out of mech, and Space Jam do manage to hold them there.
Looking pretty good for Space Jam here if Space Jam does manage to push this payload here.
Switching sides.
Yeah, I mean, such a great fight for Thelka and Space Jam. I mean,
Initiating
pushing it to the
match.
second point isn't something to be like, oh, that's not good enough. I mean, it's definitely enough for them to win this map still.
Absolutely, and typically on Dorado, I feel like you don't see teams push the payload all the way.
Yeah, especially that last point being so close. I mean, you can contest it so easily. And then with the abuse of that high ground, I mean, I feel like that's what Dorado is. There's a lot of abusing high grounds. If you don't go out and clear the high grounds, you are kind of just stuck in an endless cycle of like trying to push up.
Absolutely, and we are gonna have Space Jam now on this attack. We are gonna see the Diva, the Cassidy, actually the Genji coming out this time from Subaru, which we have yet to see this series. The Wu Yang and a Life Weaver from Haku here. We are gonna have Darb on the Ramatra, Blaze King on the Cassidy, Dift still staying on this Echo, gonna look to try and play that high ground there, and Star on the Ana, and the Brig from Virtual Fred here to try and play with that Ana and keep Star safe.
Yeah, I think the Ana Brig here is definitely a smart choice considering Mango on this Diva. I mean, when you have an Ana Brig, it's definitely just there just to protect your Ana and keep your support alive a bit more. We are seeing Mango looking, scoping out where everyone is really, just trying to see where to engage from as we do see them come up from this right side here on this high ground. Just looking to try and get a bit more of a pick and see who they can jump on, but Darb is on it straight away, jumping onto Mango really fast, forcing them off this high ground. I mean, that's what Ram's pretty much there for. He's very brawly, very dominant. He can do a lot of damage if you get too close to him. It's definitely a great choice into this anti-dive.
Absolutely, Mango really trying to look and make space here, and Thelka being forced kind of into a bit of an awkward spot as Space Jam does manage to push this payload to the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, but Blaze King does get a pick here onto Razzie, with Diff then getting a pick onto Subaru. Mango is forced out of mech by Darb and picked off by Darb there. I mean, it's looking like they're really confident on this like brawly anti-dive comp. I mean, with the Ram, the Ana, the Brig, the Cass, and then Diff is just there picking off people in the backline. I mean, it's very coordinated for Thelka right now.
Absolutely, and it looks like Space Jam is going to try to go up, around, and down. Holy words. Looks like they're going to be trying to take a different strat and possibly try to collapse onto Thelka here. And Subaru does manage to get an early pick there onto the Brig, which is going to result in Star falling, unfortunately. We do have the ult come out here, but it looks like it is going to go in favor of Space Jam for this fight.
Yeah, Darb did manage to get that pick onto Mango, but unfortunately it's just not enough for them to stop this push right now. I mean, I do think we get the recontest in time, but they do kind of have to wait for the tank just a little bit. Ram can be just a little bit slow, so maybe Diff might try and jump in and get that quick touch just before they push it, really.
And we are going to have a lot of ult ready for both teams. Unfortunately, Blaze King using that ult last fight and not getting any value. The Echo getting VMAX actually pretty quickly. We do have the Wu Yang ult come out, as well as the Life Weaver ult. The Genji ult also comes out. The Diva manages to get that remix there. We do see the Echo copy nerf come out.
Yeah, with Mango then getting a pick onto Darb, with Razzie then getting a pick onto Blaze there. I mean, a lot of ults just came out then, JJ, and it did go to the side of Space Jam, which is exactly what they want here. Still, however, Tater still have the support sort coming up with the Ana Brig. It's definitely something they need to use to take this momentum back.
Absolutely. Space Jam gonna have to be very, very careful when that nano comes out and attempt to kite it, as Ana did have a nano perk change there, which gives her and her nano target a speed boost.
Yeah, which is quite interesting. I mean, a speed boost with certain characters definitely going to be helpful, especially if you can pair that with the Ram, and when he has his form, he can kind of just push in and run at them, really. But we have seen this Wu Yang just kind of push the Darb back a lot, and you do get a pick here onto Darb, with Super pushing into their backline. Diff falling very low, with the combination of Blaze King also falling low. Diva just jump onto Blaze King, getting that pick onto them. Kind of just forcing, again, Thelka to push back a little bit while they get more top percentage.
Absolutely, and On's being absolutely so aggressive on this Wu Yang here, just looking to make space themselves with the character.
Yeah, I mean, you are sitting on 3 ults from Thelka, as Diff did just get an early pick onto Subaru. I mean, I definitely think they're going to engage onto that. I mean, Space Jam are looking to keep this high ground for them, especially with this cast is doing a lot of damage. Diff is looking to challenge that, however, falling quite low and managed to get out just in time before getting picked off. You do see Darb jump onto Haku, just trying to find that pick there.
Both capacities being traded out here. The fight pretty even, but it looks like Space Jam is going to choose to wait this out until Brad comes back.
Yeah, I mean, with 2.5 minutes on the clock, I mean, you definitely have the time to just recoup and just come back again a bit stronger. Yes, we did see Diff just get that pick onto Haku as well. Diff's just always been really good at just getting them initial picks, really.
And we are going to have a lot of ults ready here for Thelka, looking to use them this fight. Mango falling very low, but just barely able to escape.
Yeah, and we do see a lot of ults here, as we mentioned earlier. I mean, we're expecting to probably see this Nano come out. We do see Weird come out here onto the Diva. Unfortunately, only finding Blaze King. We do see the Nano come out onto Blaze King just to keep him alive. However, Mango just fell out of mech, using his Diva to get it back into mech. Getting that pick onto Blaze King as well. However, Darb does get a pick onto Razzle. With Diff then getting a pick on Haku. With Mango then getting a pick onto Darb. I mean, a lot of back and two picks right now. With Diff then using his Echo ult to then get a pick onto Suguru there. I mean, what a defense there from Thelka. I mean, it was a lot of back and two, and it just so happened that Thelka comes out on top there.
Absolutely, and there's only 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Space Jam is going to need to look and try and make some advance here. That ult from Mango actually being very good, as it did waste mana.
Yeah, I would. The Haku is definitely to help him here. With the ult coming out from Darb as well, just to get that rematch there. It's definitely what he needed to do, as if you would have been out of mech there, it would have been a bit of an issue for your team to keep this defense going, as 54 seconds on the clock. I mean, you want to wait as much time as you can before this overtime.
And it looks like Space Jam really just trying to look and play this fight slow and build their ults. We do have the Genji Blade come out onto the supports in the back line, and it looks like is able to catch out that onto there. Mango is able to follow up on the Cassidy there, and it is looking pretty good for Space Jam in this fight, as they are up 2 here. It looks like Mango is going to try and make an advance here, and unfortunately Diff does fall, and Darb is going to get the mech here, and it looks like Space Jam is going to be able to tap this point just barely.
Yeah, but able to waste a lot of time there. I mean, 15 seconds left after like the 3 minutes they had to push that. I mean, 1 minute and 40 seconds to push it to where they need to push it, especially in this last map. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Space Jam do this. I mean, they are looking to do a hard rush here onto their team and try and pick off any people who are just left by themselves. As the Ana does fall really low, they do get the sleep here onto this Genji, falling very low, and they do manage to get the pick as well. I mean, that's a huge pick for Thelka. That's exactly what they need. With this falling quite low, and you do have these 2 ults, are you going to use any right now? Just stop them from pushing, as they are pushing really, really close to the point they need to push it to win this map. It is 3-2 to Space Jam, so if they win this map, it is completely over for them. Seeing this Luyang ult come out right now, unfortunately finding Darb there and kind of catch him off guard. We do see Nano come out onto this brig, with also the deep ult coming out from Diff from this top here. Suguru managed to be in the backline just a little bit. Razzle getting a pick here onto Blitzking as well. I mean, Razzle is just getting all these picks here.
And it looks like Space Jam is going to be able to push this payload. 1.74 meters away. Oh my gosh!
We do get the C9 from Thelka, and it is currently now 4-2 to Space Jam, and they are the winner of this map, sending Thelka to the lower bracket. I mean, what a game, JJ.
I know, that was crazy to see both teams actually C9 once. Very good series from both teams. Lots of good fights put up. And like I said, a pretty even skill ceiling we've seen here from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, it was, as you said, both teams were winning one, the other one won, and the other one won. And it just looked like Space Jam just took the advantage just a little bit near to the end of the map. They kept it consistent. As for MVPs, JJ, where is your head at?
Definitely from Space Jam, I'm gonna have to go with Ons. I don't know if I've ever seen a support just dominate as much as he did.
Yeah, I think I can't disagree with you on that one. I feel like through all maps, I mean, Anne's played all of these maps here. They just showed constant dominance on the BAP, and then it was on the Wu Yang as well.
Yeah, absolutely. On the side of Tekla, I definitely have to go with one of their DPS. Their DPS were absolutely dominating, especially on the Venture.
Yeah, Dift on that venture was generally doing a lot, and then also on the Echo as well. I think I have to agree with you on that one. But we are just going to go for a little break here as we are going to be running into interviews after this. Hello, Kaizen, and welcome back. We are joined here today from the MVP from Space Jam. Ange is here. Welcome and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much. Hey, we just had a hard game. It was really tough. Awesome game. I love Thelka. They're tough competitors. GG's to them. I want to give a shout out for my team first because
Yeah,
they
that's completely
really popped
fine.
off and they were awesome. Awesome people. The Hawk, even though he did not play, he always shows up and always is there for a sub if we need it. And if we do put him in, then he pops off. So you guys didn't get to see him play, but that's my boy. Razzie, oh my gosh, man. This guy, I think this was his best game so far. Even though we like lost some maps, I just feel like the competition was tougher, and that's why we lost some. But
Yeah, Razian, that's so just really, really good as well. I mean, I feel like your team in general just all done so well.
yeah, like they did have some we had some problems with like learning like what bands we wanted and everything, but other than that, they just did well in their each of their own like respective roles. Light
Right,
went
well,
crazy, Zero
yeah,
went
lightweight
crazy,
crazy.
so
Well,
did
starting off
Mango.
this interview, just to start off, I mean, what do you think you personally done well? I mean, you talked about what you feel like your team done really well. What do you think you done well?
Probably like shot call, honestly. I just tell them what to do sometimes. Sometimes I say some stupid stuff, but other than that, I tell them mainly the correct stuff that we need to do, and then the bans and everything, and that
So
helped
would
us
you,
out.
so would you say you're a bit of like the playmaker out of
Yeah,
everything?
definitely a playmaker. On this role, when I play DPS, I don't talk as much, but on this one, I can see the game more from the backline, so I know what we need to do and what we need to get done, and then we execute.
Well, like speaking of playmaking, was there any strategy you guys had coming into this? I mean, you've played Tackle before in previous rounds. Was there anything you knew that you were coming into this that you wanted to stop?
I knew that they had a tracer player, but like last time we faced them, it was like really dominant. But they have some new players now, and it made it way more tough than it was last time. And which Whisk told us about that they had new players and they were tougher. But we didn't expect it to be this tough though, and especially because the EU ping, like on the NA
Yeah.
ping, we could do really good and dominate, but on the EU ping, it was dicey.
I mean, you
Every
definitely
map
put
was
up a
super
good
close.
fight on that EU ping. I mean, a lot of the EU maps were a lot closer.
Yeah,
It just Tekla just took the little edge, especially on that Esperanza. I mean, you just pushed it really far, and then they just stopped you just near the end. But I
yeah,
mean, as you said, you guys played really well. What's next for you guys? I mean, you're coming up now to the finals, right?
yeah.
Are you prepping? Who are you expecting to be there? You know?
Uh, I mean, so EIG dropped out. I don't know why specifically. I think they got like rage baited or something. I don't know what happened, but they dropped out, and then I was wanting them to face them in the finals. But I think now it might be. It's either. I mean, there's only two teams left. It's only Thelka or Whisk, and I feel like Whisk has more potential, like with their players. Like
Hmm.
depending on who's there. If everybody's there on that team, they could be like strong. But I feel like if they keep showing up with like the amount of players they have, like and the same people, then we definitely won't be seeing them. We're definitely gonna be seeing Thelka in the finals. And
Yeah,
then they
well, I
also
think
like lost the
JJ.
support as well, so
Yeah,
to
they
overpeak.
did. They think
So
they teared out, I think. But I think JJ's
mhm.
going to finish off this interview with the final question.
Okay,
Yeah, so Finny kind of asked a lot of the questions I was gonna ask, but
Sorry.
I guess why support? Like, what got you into playing support? You're just so dominant on the role, and like you're able to balance like doing damage as well as sustaining your team with that.
um so I feel like supporters like low key, like if you're like a DPS is my main role. This is my off roles, like tank and support. I play both, but we just have a really good tank, so sometimes I don't play tank. But I almost did today because Mango can't. Mango, he is really good, but this Malka comp, like against him, he personally can't like handle it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's okay. He's good against every other comp. That just gave some issues, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna get back into the lab and then cook up some more. And he's been improving. Like he's one of our most improved players over the season. But for me, support is just really easy because there's a lot of supports that can do like damage and DPS. And being a DPS main, it makes you really easy to like go into off angles and then kill people like and like be more confident in fights. Like I think I like 1v1 the Reaper one time and he like pushed me and yeah, that was awesome.
All right, that'll be it from Finny and I then.
Okay.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, and obviously, congratulations again. I mean, we thought your team done absolutely amazing, especially you as well, as that's why we gave you the MVP. But we really appreciate you coming in here and giving us some insight to how Space Jam won today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. It was good to be
Thank
here.
you so much. Well, Kaizen, we're going to go just for a little break just to get the other MVP here. We're going to be speaking with Diff from Tekla. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a quick little break. Hello, Kaizen, and welcome back to our stream. We are joined here today from Lothic, which is the in-game name is Dift. Congratulations on the MVP. Unfortunate loss for you guys today, but I mean, you guys tried really hard and done really well.
Yeah, I was not expecting we would be able to even do this well, to be honest.
I mean, you definitely did show up. Was there anything you personally feel like you done really well?
I think my venture on Esperanza was pretty good because I was hitting those flanks and I got a lot of them off guard, especially the Sojourn.
Yeah, a lot of key points that me and JJ always brought up was like your venture and then also your echo as well. We just felt like you kept on doing so much on both them characters.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually what we plan to do is like me personally as a flex DPS, I always try to get a flank. I always flank, even if it's like a suicide run, as long as I get one person, I'm fine with it. So that's usually how I get picks.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, was there any strategies you guys had coming into this? Like, you've played Space Jam before. Is there something that you guys know they are good at?
Me personally, I have not joined the team before we fought Space Jam, so this is my first time. Uh, Honestly, we were going let's just play our best maps, our best characters. Unfortunately, that didn't work on Circuit, even though it was our best escort map. But I think they were a lot better on poking than us, which is what
Hmm.
got us a lot of the losses.
Yeah, I mean, next up, I mean, obviously you've lost today, but that doesn't mean that you guys are out. You were obviously in the finals for the lower bracket. You're playing WIS next. What are you expecting coming into this?
Against Swisskinnet, I mean, we did win against them 3-0, but that was because their key player XR was not there. So if XR is available from the start, I think it's going to be a very close match. But I still think we can win because me personally, and even the team, we're all used to how Wisconsin plays. I think we can
Yeah.
make some kind of play.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you won last time, so you're definitely looking to keep that momentum coming into the lower finals. I think JJ is going to finish off this interview portion just with her final question for you.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, what are you hoping is next for you guys? What are you guys gonna look to change up so you can come back around and give Space Jam another run for their money once if you guys go to the finals?
Hey, you want me to spoil the secret? Damn. Uh, well, we are trying to cook up some strategies with like we could try maybe a dive comp as well. We could try to improve the Maga comp. I saw it worked a lot against them, against Mango. We could try some stretch with that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Malcolm definitely was something you guys looked very comfortable on. But if that's all the questions we have for you, I mean, as I said earlier, I feel like you've played really, really well today, and we appreciate your
Thank you.
input on how Tekla think and what they are planning and stuff like that. Is there anything, any shout out you want to do just before you go?
From the enemy team.
Or from your own
Or your
team, might be a
team.
coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out Darb. I mean, he's been trying out every single tank character. We're just forcing him. Go Rissa, go Maga, go something, and he still plays it and does well. I say
He
that's a pretty
does.
good thing.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for tuning in then, Lothic. We appreciate your input. But Kaizen, that will be the end for today. It's been 4-2 to Space Jam. Obviously, Tackle's not out just yet, so please stay tuned for future streams. I've been Finny, that's been JJ.
And we will see you guys around.
Thank you so much.
Oh man, I want to